So there are a lot of women-specific events and takeovers at the moment. And you might be thinking, well, why? Can't we just all ride together? Well, yes and no. Let me explain. Your name?
My name's Claire Bennett.
Nice. Nailed it.
Yes! Got my name right! Woo!
This is Claire Bennett, an all-round MTB addict and outdoorsy lover who is a massive advocate for women-specific riding spaces. We actually used to guide together in the Alps on an all-girls guiding team, which was a bit of a shock to the men turning up, but they soon didn't mind after we'd fixed a few of their punches and bled their brakes while they had dinner.
So we're here at the Hope MTB Enduro. It's a standalone event. We do one a year if we can do it. The last one happened in Gisborne Forest in 2023. And this is the first time that we've come south to the Forest of Dean. And yeah, we have 200 ladies out on course racing right now, from ages 8 through to 63. So pretty cool to see such a big age range out there.
I'm Monet and I'm here filming the Hope MTB Enduro.
Yes! Monet has been in front of and behind the camera on some incredible films like On Her Terms, Just Be and Along for the Ride, which, whether she meant to or not, all seem to bring women to the foreground of mountain biking.
Okay, honesty, first time I ever heard about the Hope MTB Enduro, I was still in my egotistical racing era and I thought the idea sounded a bit lame. But I went to one and I just ate humble pie immediately because I'd grown up being like, I'm just going to keep up with the boys. And that is part of the problem. And you come to these events and it's like the most heartwarming, chill, fun, ego-free, brilliant, supportive environment that anyone has, there is nothing like this. It's legit and it's really fun to ride. And it doesn't matter if you're like an ex-World Cup racer or you're trying to race World Cups or you literally are terrified of competition and you just want to roll down. You're all here to have a great time, and that's what mountain biking is about, really.
I think this the atmosphere that this creates, I feel like you can do anything here and no one would mind. And I think it's a real family feeling, like there's lots of dads with kids on Mac rides on the front riding around watching mum, and I think it's really inspiring. Often mums are often the ones that are the ones planning, doing everything that involves that family life, and to get a chance for their kids to see them out doing something like this, I think it's an incredible role model, especially for young girls. I think that mum's out in the forest doing that. I want to do that one day, and I think that's what's really encouraging, seeing a family event, and for once it's the mums doing it, going out doing the cool stuff, and dad's looking after the kids. So it's, yeah, I think it's really special, and I think it's super important. We need it for sure.
So why do women need women-specific events? Well, let me be clear, they don't need them, they want them. And that should be enough. And I'm not trying to be controversial here, but there is a demand for it. And if you run a trail centre or if you organise events, then I'm going to give you some reasons why you should be doing it, beyond why we just want them. Now, exclusion is a hard one to convey when you're not the one who is excluded. If you've never felt excluded, you probably don't know why this is important. And you might even be sitting there thinking, we're not excluding women from our trail centre or from our events. Why would they feel excluded? Well, sometimes you can be excluded, even if it's not intentional. Let me try and explain. This is hard to convey. But imagine if you turned up to a social event that was meant to be strangers mixing, but everyone spoke a different language to you. Now, you're not being excluded, but it's hard for you to be included. Or maybe you turn up to a rich, posh golf resort and you are not rich and you have no idea how to play golf. You've never done it before. If you try and converse with people like that, your frame of references are different. Your understanding of the game is different, and then it becomes hard to have a conversation. It becomes hard to go out and have a game with those people, and you might worry you're slowing those people up, or you just can't have a conversation with them about it. You're not physically being excluded, but you will certainly feel excluded, and that's what I'm talking about. So it's important for that golf resort to put on beginners events so that beginners don't feel excluded. It's important for those social events to put on social events that are specific to different languages or different cultures. And that's what we're doing here. Like I said, this isn't a fem movement. This isn't meant to exclude men. It's just meant to be specific to women. I think it's telling that when you turn up to an enduro and there's hundreds of people there, but only 10 women, it's kind of telling that they want something more.
I remember like racing as a really, really little squirt and getting on the making sure I was the first one to get on the uplift so that I was the last one to get off, so that everybody was going down before me, and then having to figure out like, okay, you have to go straight away so the next uplift isn't on its way straight down behind you. And so I think that like without getting too like existential about it, like women are trained, we're like socially trained to like have a lot more awareness of like how other people feel and what other people are doing, and as a result we're a lot more apologetic. And I feel like younger generations are doing a great job of like putting that aside, but it's still there, especially for women my age and older. We know we have been or like are slower. We know we have different values. We don't need the like aggressive like ego stuff that so much of male sport thrives on. And that's not to speak for all women at all, but like there's just a different vibe. And actually I think the irony is guys are coming to these events and going, oh, this is so nice and so chill. Like, why can't it be like this all the time?
A lot of women, listening to them before they went out, and I hear it a lot, is that they don't want to race because they don't want to feel like they're slowing other people up. So the idea behind this race is to give people time to get down the stages, to race their bike if they want to just ride their bike if they want to, and yeah, just to have time. And it is a supportive environment to have a go at racing.
I think they're such a good idea because it really encourages people just to give it a go. Like there's so many times where I've been out on a ride and there's been somebody at the back who said, oh, you know, I really shouldn't be here. I feel like I'm slowing everyone down, da 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 da. You know, there's like, women are so apologetic all the time. And what do we have to apologise for? So women just need that space, and I think in this kind of environment the pressure's off. You know that everyone's cheering you on and just sort of encouraging. Everybody wants you to do well. Like everybody's stoked that you're here and taking part in it.
Of course, as a woman, whether you are a beginner or an absolute pro, you are still often slower than men in comparison. And I think the fear of slowing people down, of getting in the way of other racers who may be better or faster than you, is a real fear, and it probably is very likely to happen when you turn up to an event. You have to be very resilient to get over that and want to keep turning up when you are potentially the slowest person at a race full of hundreds of people. Some women can feel scrutinized, patronized, excluded in male-dominated environments. And that could be born out of experience, perhaps past experiences where it's happened, and maybe they're oversensitive, or maybe their feelings are justified when they go into a male-dominated environment. But to be honest, even if that feeling is born on a fear of it happening, that doesn't detract the fear from being a barrier. If a person is fearful that they're going to be patronized, scrutinized, or excluded, that's enough to stop them going. So a women-specific event opens up possibilities for those people. An environment full of women suddenly becomes inviting and welcoming, or at the very least, one barrier has been lifted. And that's enough to start getting more women into the sport.
In a way, it's like giving women a sort of a push to say, come and join us. It's friendly, we talk about all sorts, and in an environment where you're not scared of being judged.
I think they're a nice addition to normal events. I think if we had only women's and only men's stuff, it wouldn't be ideal, but I think having the combination that we have and having a few of these standalone events are really, really, I think they're crucial for new women getting involved in the sport. I think you just need that welcoming, no egos, no guys chasing you down the trail, and just an amazing supportive environment, and that's what something like this brings. I think there's so many first timers here knowing that they're just with people that feel the same. They all feel nervous, they all feel like they're not good enough to do it, And I think everyone they can appreciate each other's feelings, and just they feed off it, they encourage each other, and it's just a lovely, lovely atmosphere. And I think to do this once a year or twice a year, I think it's crucial for the sport, for the growth, and for women to realise that they're really capable, more than they actually admit to themselves.
Cornell University did this psychological test where they found that women were more likely to underestimate their abilities, whereas men were actually more likely to overestimate their abilities. Now, if a woman underestimates their ability, then they think they are not good enough. And that could extend to events. They may feel like they're not good enough to turn up to a mixed event. And a women's-specific event like this may soften that barrier. Women need role models, and more specifically, they need female role models. And there's no one that fits the bill better, in my opinion, than the legend that is Tracy Moseley.
With over 30 years of racing, Tracy's racked up 17 downhill World Cup wins, 2 World Cup Series overall wins, a World Championship title, 14 Enduro World Series wins, and so much more. Now, a mum in her mid-40s, Tracy entered the e-bike Enduro World Championships this year and came third.
30 years. So yes, wish it was 25. Or I was 25, yeah. This year's been cool, actually. It was a little bit of like a let's do something because it's 30 years. And I think I wanted to do it as much for me, but also for Toby, my son, to kind of show him what I did, maybe. He obviously heard about what Mummy did racing-wise, to kind of show him what it involves. And I've enjoyed that journey, trying to get back and be competitive again. But there's also a massive difference between being in my 20s without children, without a husband, without being selfish, training really hard, having a 20-year-old body. Like, I suddenly realised that my preparations over the last 10 years, it's been really good this year. But actually, in comparison to what it could be or would have been, it's not comparable. There's not really been a coach or a training plan. It's just been riding more when I can fit it in, doing a bit more gym. But you know what? I wouldn't want it any other way. Like, I don't want to go back to where I was 20 years ago. I've been there, done that, and it's nice to feel like I can still balance things. I don't want racing to take over and not allow me to still be mum and be that family person. So it's been a bit of a challenge, and sometimes it's hard for me to appreciate that I'm not going to be as competitive as I once was. But I think that's just part of growing old, and I feel like I'm really lucky to still be able to do what I'm doing and to have the chance to have a year and play around again at bike racing and still have a little man supporting me along the way has been, truly special.
Women underestimate their ability. Now, research has proven this, but I've also seen it and felt it firsthand. If we're underestimating our ability, we assume something can't be done until proven otherwise. And often watching guys do it doesn't prove anything, especially if a woman feels like a man is better, then it kind of almost reinforces that they can't do it. It's very complex. However, I have seen and felt that when women are in female-specific groups and they watch other women do it, it then becomes possible. It's no longer a man's doing that, I probably can't. It's a woman's done that, that means I possibly can. And that shift in mentality is huge. It becomes possible. And that's a good thing, isn't it? Shared experiences matter. We need to talk about sport and share experiences to learn and to grow and just be healthy, happy human beings. When you're a woman, you have unique barriers to the sport, or unique challenges, or something unique anyway. Things like physiological differences. I'm not going to talk periods and hormones here, but stuff like that actually really changes how we ride a bike or how we train. And I certainly don't want to be bringing that sort of conversation up with my guy friends. I don't think they want to hear it. I don't feel comfortable talking about it. Having a women's specific event or a women's specific ride or a trail centre that opens its doors to women only, it means we talk. We love to talk, and we love to share our experiences that are unique to us. And a problem shared is potentially a problem solved, or at least it's nice to have a conversation with someone who has a similar experience and can offer advice.
You can be really negative about it. You can say, there's no, there's never any clothes that fit us, or there's never any bikes that fit us and that sort of thing. But, the more that we encourage people to ride, and the more the brands will face up to it and go, yeah, we need to cater for these women as well, rather than just pink and shrink and shove us in the corner of the bike shop. Like, we are part of this as well, and women can get out just as much out of it as men can.
So, do women need women-specific events? Well, no, of course they don't. But it's certainly nice to have. And until the sport feels more inclusive, I think they're a necessity. And to be honest, inclusivity aside, it just makes the sport feel bigger and richer to have events that are tailored to different types of people. I think whether I want to join in or not, it's definitely a good thing, and we should have more of it. But you guys, let me know what you think down in the comments below of women-specific events, races, guiding, takeovers and trail centres. I want to know your opinion down in the comments below.